Hello everybody, this is Toontown Triumph here, and I know it's been a while since I've made, well, anything. But I recently watched Disney's Frozen, and after seeing how big of a movie this is, I just couldn't stay away from doing a review of it. This movie didn't hit it big in the United States, it hit it huge. Huge. Disney's latest marketing ploy basically has taken over every DVD and Blu-ray section and children's section in North America. And I mean, like, there's so much stuff out there, if you didn't hear about it, you basically live under a rock. It's pretty much breaking every record you can think of, and best of all, last I checked, it's still in theaters! It came out on DVD and Blu-ray last week, and my god, it's still playing at my hometown theater. One day, out of pure boredom, I checked Billboard on Spotify, and oh, look, there it is! I can't remember the last time a song from a Disney soundtrack made it to the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. In fact, I can't remember the last time any movie song made it to the top 10 of this chart. Oh wait. Oops. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm doing this review so late. I mean, like, the movie came out in November. Well, actually, I saw this 2 weeks ago and traveling on a coach bus that was playing the movie. I did hear about it through word of mouth, YouTube, and other media. I also wanted to wait until the DVD came out so I have that quality standard to work with, because in my opinion, quality is everything. So to join the spirit with this Frozen phenomenon, I decided to do an extra long review, much longer than my Korra reviews, because there's just so much to talk about in this movie. So feel free to grab a drink, grab a snack, sit back in your comfy chair and enjoy. This is my review of Disney's Frozen. So the movie starts out with a bunch of, I guess you can call them, Norwegian ice pickers, as they get ice from a local, I guess, pond or reservoir. We also meet our first character, Kristoff, and his little reindeer, Sven. But unfortunately, we don't see them until much later in the movie, so we'll have to wait a little while. And yes, ice harvesting was actually a form of trade back in the 19th century, when they had no choice but to use ice as a form of refrigeration. You know, it's funny that even though Sven can't talk, he's personifying every word that Kristoff is saying. Look at this scene where Kristoff and Sven are older. You can see that he's clearly trying to talk, and I wouldn't be upset if he did, because this is a Disney movie. It's funny, because plenty of other animals don't do anything, and play their parts pretty well. If Disney was trying to get animals to look like animals, Sven in this scene would be either sleeping, or looking directly forward not doing anything, kinda like the moose in Invader Zim. Now, I know this is a very minor inconsistency, but if you think I'm going too much with this, well, just watch.
Strike for love and strike for fear, there's beauty and there's danger here. Split the eyes apart, beware the frozen heart.
Come on, Sven.
So in the next scene, we're introduced to our two main characters, Anna and Elsa, as Anna wakes Elsa up to play in the snow in the house. No, I'm just joking, guys. I knew Elsa had snow powers before I watched the movie, but when I first saw it, I was like, okay, they're gonna do this in the house, and oh, I get it. How touching. Not too long after, Elsa slips and hits Anna with her ice powers, and her health begins to fade, along with her hair color. She cries for help, her parents come in, and then they go to some wooded area with a bunch of rocks, and they turn into trolls? Okay, Disney, where's this one going? The eldest troll tells Elsa exactly what happened, and tells her that Anna actually will be okay, but to avoid this ever happening again, they would like Elsa to train to use her ice powers for good, but in the meantime, she would have to avoid all contact with the outside world, including her sister Anna. Which I thought was okay, until I watched the scenes that followed. I understand reducing staff, and maybe making her wear gloves so she doesn't have an accident, but this is way, way overkill. I mean, you know, having Anna's memory wiped, shutting the blinds, the door, the world to Elsa, and then, of course, the song.
Do you wanna build a snowman? Come on, let's go and play.
The song that Anna sings, Do You Want to Build a Snowman, is so good, but it would be so much better if it didn't have a darkened side behind it. She's alone, basically imprisoned in her own room. I'm not sure who she talks to other than her parents, and Anna behind the door. I'm not sure if she even knows what she looks like anymore. And what's even worse is that when she gets older, she's like at least 17, as old as maybe 21. Her parents perish out at sea. And by the looks of it, I don't even see Elsa at the funeral. I mean, like, forget about sad and lonely. I'm surprised she didn't go get a rope. Like, if I was Anna and I wasn't in a Disney movie, I would definitely go find a key to make sure my sister isn't, you know, hanging around, if you know what I mean.
Please, I know you're in there. People are asking where you've been. They say have courage, and I'm trying to. I'm right out here for you. Just let me in. We only have each other. It's just you and me. What are we gonna do?
Well, I know what you should do, Anna. Get a sledgehammer and a therapist.
Do you want to build a snowman?
I mean, like, my god, is this depressing. And please don't say that this is actually supposed to be a very touching moment, and Disney was trying to put contrast in between Anna and Elsa. Well, Disney did not do a very good job, especially with parenting skills here. Now, you'd be like, well, parenting skills? What does this have to do with parenting skills? This is not relatable at all. Well, let me tell you what. Oh, yes, it is. Imagine if your child had either Down syndrome, ALS, type 2 diabetes, leukemia, autism, epilepsy, or any other noticeable disorder. Now, depending on the severity of the case, would you keep that child under close, constant supervision? Yes. Now, would it be okay to pretty much keep your child in his or her room for long periods of time, pretty much like solitary confinement, and say to him or her,
"Listen, sweetie, I just don't want you to be embarrassed out there. I know you want to go to Disney World, but you're just not ready yet."
After watching this, I just want to slap the person who put this into the film. I really do. This sets a bad example for parents, and it also sets a bad example for kids who will become parents in the next generation. I just sure hope that parents, as well as kids, overlook this, and pray that Disney fixes their mistake in Frozen 2. Now, moving on, the scene quickly lightens up as summer falls on Arendelle. It's Elsa's coronation day, which means that she's probably 18. I looked this up, by the way. If a queen is not of age yet, then the steward or democratic council has the right to rule the kingdom until she becomes either 18 or 21, according to historical context. So Anna wakes up, and, ooh, nice bedhead, as she sings another song called For the First Time in Forever. And this is definitely a high point for me in this movie, because it really gets good here.
There'll be music, there'll be light. For the first time in forever, I'll be dancing through the night.
As I said before, the music is damn good. And the animation, even better. They definitely deserve the title of Best Animated Feature of 2013. I mean, everything from the modeling, the color gradients, the shadows, the water effects, hair, color, everything. You can tell they spent a lot of money and time on this, making this truly top-notch. Hats off to you, John Lasseter, as well as the Disney animation team. Now, would you call it better than The Lion King? Well, I'll believe it when it passes The Lion King as the best musical on Broadway. So the song ends abruptly as, ooh, oh my god, she gets hit by a 1,000-pound horse. But she's okay. No neck injuries.
Ah, he's so dreamy.
No, I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just wasn't looking where I was going, but I'm great, actually.
Oh, thank goodness.
So Anna and this new character named Hans get acquainted.
Prince Hans of the Southern Isles.
Southern Isles? What the heck? If you're a nerd like me, you would know that the Southern Isles actually exists in World of Warcraft as a set of islands in the southwestern side of the Karazhan Wilds. Like, was there someone working in Disney who played World of Warcraft who thought that it was a good idea for the film? I think so. Also, the trolls kind of remind me of World of Warcraft a little bit. I know that World of Warcraft and Frozen are loosely based from Nordic mythology, but this is just too much of a coincidence, I'm sorry.
It's just me.
Just you?
Oh, look at his hair. It's so perfect.
The bells, the coronation, I...
Jeez, that couldn't be any more awkward. Alright, so we skip a shot back to, I guess you can call it a church. Elsa narrowly avoids an accident as we skip to another shot. And now things are a bit more festive, with music, dancing, hors d'oeuvres, and anything else that Disney tries to pass off as Nordic culture. Alright, well, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit, because the story doesn't get interesting until this part. Hans finds Anna, they seem to hit her off quite well, and they leave the party halfway through. We get a nice number to the soundtrack, Love is an Open Door. But at the end of the song, the movie, as well as my mind, goes crazy.
Can I say something crazy? Will you marry me?
Can I say something even crazier? Yes!
There would have been a spiraling backlash from fans if Disney hadn't fixed their mistake in the very next scene when Elsa sets the record straight.
You can't marry a man you just met.
You can if it's true love.
Anna, what do you know about true love?
Well, more than you. All you know is how to shut people out.
So she leaves, shuts the party down, and I guess hits puberty.
Kill her!
That was my reaction when I first saw this. I just can't get Avatar off my brain. You know, at least Avatar had some realism in that you need water to bend it, or in this case, freeze it. As you may or may not know, I'm studying to be a meteorologist, and in order for her to freeze that much water, she would need the amount of air equivalent to more than 3 of those ballrooms. So other than pure magic, there is no other possible explanation. Heck, even another Disney/Pixar film has realism in relation to water.
You're out of ice? You can't run out of ice! I thought you could use the water in the air! There is no water in this air! What's your excuse? You run out of muscle?
So she runs away, and unfortunately plunges Arendelle into an eternal winter, as Anna goes to try and find her sister, alone. What a great idea. You know how the old saying goes, if you want to do something right, you have to do it yourself. And this will have absolutely no repercussions whatsoever. She will be perfectly fine conquering the elements with just her and the horse. Absolutely brilliant as we get a zoom-in shot of some mountain and oh, this is it. Oh yes, I love this part. 149 million views and counting. This scene is one of the reasons why I'm actually doing this video in the first place. This video, I'm sure, attributed to much of the film's success. And honestly, I have nothing to say here. This song is absolutely brilliant in every which way. From the songwriting to the backing track to the vocals, it's magnificent. I will say one thing in relation to the story is that she goes from being somewhat depressed, isolated, and alone, to being happier, but still isolated and alone. It's actually worse. I mean, like, she has to be human. She was born from human parents, and even though she has all these ice powers, she has to have an appetite, right? I know it's a Disney movie, but she has to eat something. She just eats the ice. I mean, like, she actually likes chocolate, but there's no chocolate up there. What are you gonna do? All she knows how to do is make shit cold. And speaking of cold, look at this. When she does her little wardrobe change, she has bare skin exposed up to the knee. She must be non-human, or this is all definitely magic, because I did look this all up. The temperature in Norway in the wintertime can be very cold. It can be as little as negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It'd be a lot worse, of course, if it was wind chill induced, but there's no wind chill because she's in a little ice castle that she made for herself.
Cold never bothered me anyway.
Cold doesn't bother me anyway. That's total BS. If she was human, give her, I would say, 15 minutes. She will be shivering like no other. Give her a half an hour, she'll have frostbite, and give her a little bit under an hour, she'd be flat out dead. Also, Disney, fastest night-to-day transition I've ever seen. Thankfully, Disney sets the record straight in the very next scene when Anna slips and falls and lands in a running stream. Without dry clothes, and assuming these conditions, I would give her about 5 minutes before hypothermia sets in, and about 10 minutes before death. But luckily, she's right there next to a lodge, and she goes in and buys new dry clothes. Thank you, Disney, for once again fixing your own mistake in the very next scene. So it's in that lodge that Anna meets Kristoff. Kristoff agrees to go with Anna to the mountain in exchange for climate equipment and carrots.
Oh god, he's even hotter.
Yeah! 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 Hang on! We like to go fast.
I like fast!
Whoop, that's one. They're soon chased by wolves and make a jump that you only can see in a Disney movie, as Kristoff barely escapes the large fall. However, the sled doesn't make it.
But I just paid it off.
Oh, man. Alright, Disney, that makes perfect sense. The second the sled hits the ground, it blows up. Turns out that was my bad. I looked it up. Lacquer is actually a very flammable resource, so because there was a torch attached to that sled, that actually could have happened. Okay, moving along here. As daybreak hits, they come across a new character, a talking snowman named Olaf. Say hello to the Disney humor character. Every movie so far that Disney has made to date has one. He is the Timon. He is the Mushu. He is the LeFou of this movie. He sings about summer, which is ironically messed up in a way. I have never heard of a snowman that actually wishes for his own death, because that's pretty much what he's trying to preach here. I mean, like, what kind of drugs were they on when they were writing this scene? I mean, like, this character and song serves no purpose other than to make this 100-minute movie go even longer. Also, I don't recall reading about inflatable pool toys in my history textbook. So, back to Olaf. I firmly believe that they actually made this character as secretly emo as possible. Because, like, look at this scene right here where they're trying to get back to the castle and, you know, it's a very tense scene. He doesn't care at all of what's going on. He's just along for the ride, which just dims the whole scene down.
And who's the funky-looking donkey over there?
That's Sven.
Uh-huh. And who's the reindeer?
Ooh, burn. How ironic in a movie called Frozen. So the four of them now continue their journey north as they are soon faced with a semi-large problem. A large ice wall separates them from their destination. So instead of going around the mountain, or maybe using the stuff that he bought in the store, Anna tries to be the hero.
Nobody wants to be alone. Except maybe you.
You know, were the scriptwriters even paying attention to Anna's dialogue and character in any of these scenes? I mean, like, she goes from being angry in one scene
All you know is how to shut people out.
to helpful and forgiving in another scene,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't.
to being completely fearless in another scene, to freaked out in the next.
Am I right? Hi. You're creepy.
So either Anna suffers from multiple personality disorder, or a different writer scripted each and every one of these scenes. So after that, they soon find the ice castle, as Anna tries to talk Elsa down. Gotta love the animal humor here. And oh man, what the heck is this? It's still holding? Oh man, geez, I had to actually Google search after watching the scene the answer to the weight of an adult male reindeer, assuming that that reindeer actually is male and is an adult. It's about 400 pounds. Now, I wish that Disney actually looked up the stress fracture of ice, because I did, and the answer is quite astounding. So the whole crew meets Elsa as they try to calm her down and turn this whole winter back into summer again. And before long, they go from monologuing to a full-on duet. But I can't complain, two amazing voices, by far. Unfortunately, the duet ends early as Elsa strikes Anna's heart with her ice powers. And soon enough, they're forced out by this guy.
Stop! Put us down!
Go away, assholes.
So the monster chases them down the mountain as they try to escape. It turns out he actually has a name. His name is Marshmallow, according to Olaf. They are soon faced with a huge problem. A 200-foot cliff stands in their way, and they're about to get attacked by a giant snow monster. Oh man, they're actually going to do the descent. Are you kidding me? This snow anchor... Oh boy. If that snow anchor holds, that will be one hell of a cop-out. And, oh, nope, he pulls him back up. They'll probably get captured and get sent back to the castle. Oh wait, no, he wants to go to the castle. Hold on.
Don't come back!
We won't.
Oh wait, oh no, no, no! Oh my god! Oh my... They better catch something. Holy sh... What?!
Hey, you were right. Just like a pillow.
I'm sorry, I just looked it up. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is how I felt the first time watching this scene. Oh man, no, no, no! They committed suicide! Oh my god! Holy Jesus! What the... What?! Are you kidding me?! That's ridiculous! Hey guys, come close. I got something to tell you. Disney, I know this is an animated feature, and I know that you're trying to impress the fans, but this is ridiculous. Can you please Google search the answer to the terminal velocity of a human at 200 feet? Assuming pure freefall, that's no parachute, there has not ever been one person who has ever survived a 200-foot fall and survived, more or less, than getting up out of the snow and walking around perfectly perfectly fine. I mean, what the hell were they thinking? Snow does not cushion a free fall. Even if it's like maybe 4 or 5 feet deep, give or take, it cannot hinder the fact that when you hit the floor, you are simply dead. You know what's even more funny? They actually mentioned this in a previous scene. Here, I'll play it for you.
What are you doing?
I'm going to see my sister.
You're gonna kill yourself.
So the movie already says that falling from a great height can kill you, and then give you this reverse logic that it actually can't kill you. With the snow, you'll be just fine. You will be in a lot of pain. It will hurt so bad at 50 feet. You know, actually, that would actually make a pretty good story. You know, forget for a minute the whole froze your heart BS, and imagine this being the story. Imagine that she gets hurt, like let's say her leg is broken, and then he has to go back to the castle to find help. She would also be in very deep shock because the snow is up to her frickin' waist, and Kristoff needs to still pull her out. If it's bare skin touching that much snow, she would freeze very fast. That would give the story a lot more of a realistic meaning, and would stop me from getting on Disney's case about this, because this is not a good example for kids either. Like, imagine, let's say your family camps out a lot. They go to, like, you know, mountainous places, and there's a lot of hills, a lot of rocks and stuff, and let's say that there's some kind of snowfall, and your kid, who's like 8 or 9, thinks that, oh, I'll go jump off this mountain because the snow will catch me. It's like 4 feet deep, who cares? He jumps. One of 3 things will happen. A branch will catch his hood, he breaks both his legs, or he ends up on the evening news. And Jennifer Lee will probably be shaking her head. Nah, too soon? Alright, okay, enough about that. Moving on. So we go off to see Kristoff's friends, the trolls, the same trolls that were in the beginning of the movie.
Let me look at you.
Take off your clothes.
Yep, and that's number 2.
My clothes on. Look, it's great to see you all, but where's Grandpappy?
He's napping. But look, I grew a mushroom. Iron my fire crystal.
I passed a
And there's number 3. Oh my god. You know, this scene is just chock full of possible innuendos.
Trolls. They're trolls.
What did you call us?
They're trolls.
He's brought a girl!
Stop it, enough! She's engaged to another woman, okay? And not before long, once again, they bust out a song and realize that her health and hair color are starting to fade.
She's as cold as ice.
So the eldest troll, his name is, by the way, Pabby, or Grandpappy, comes to see her. Oh man, they should do one more song. I have an awesome idea for one.
You're as cold as ice!
So unfortunately he can't help her, and only a true love's kiss can thaw a frozen heart.
Anna, we've got to get you back to Hans.
Hans.
Unfortunately for Anna, Hans is going the wrong way toward Elsa's castle. Even if they get back in time and she's still alive, he will not be there, so just kiss her now. Kristoff, make your move! But he doesn't, as we have a battle scene coming up, as Han and his army is going to take on Elsa and Marshmallow. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's just hiding in the snow there. Couldn't see him. Great camouflage, man. So the 2 Westleton guards evade him and make their way up the staircase to get to Elsa. And, whoa, hold on. Wait. I thought up until this point that Elsa was controlling Marshmallow with her snow powers. But no, Marshmallow is controlling himself. Like, what is this, no self-aware? I mean, like, if she really wants to be alone, then have her make, like, 20 marshmallows so there's no chance that they'll make it up the stairs in the first place. Or even better, destroy the stairs. And wait, hold on. Go back to the guards again. Alright, so they get hit. They get up. They somehow go around Marshmallow. And, oh no, not again. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to change subjects here and put some attention on this whole ice stairway scenario. Look at this. What the? There's 5 people on it now! Okay, I'm sorry. I took physics for 2 years in college, and this is a little bit ridiculous. This totals to at least almost around 1,000 pounds of weight, assuming that they're all pretty big guys. And the ice is so thin. I mean, like, when the monster hit it, I thought it was freaking solid concrete. I mean, like, what does it take to get this freaking bridge to break? It never breaks. When Elsa first actually makes the bridge, it's attached to almost nothing. Like, I'm sorry, solid snow is not a very good anchor, and she's putting so much torque on one point when she actually is making the bridge with her ice powers. Honestly, it will break, in real life, a third of the way before she makes it over that little crevice. I would love to see one day Disney Animation, or even better, Pixar, make a brand new animation remaking the scene with actual physics, so they can actually prove that she has to make the bridge first before she crosses it. Well, to be fair, she does look, skinny enough to cross it, but have you ever done an experiment in engineering class where you have to make a bridge out of popsicle sticks and hot glue? Well, this is similar to that, except for, according to Disney, it won't hold like 1 or 2 pounds, it'll hold about 20 pounds, which is equivalent to, I don't know, about 1,000 pounds on a half-an-inch thick ice bridge about 50 feet wide. And I'm sorry if I'm going too much with this, and I'm complaining about the small things, but this is honestly abysmal after watching this the first time. Like, I was shocked that no one caught this. The animators, the producers, the directors, no one saw this? It's in like 4 scenes! Alright, moving on. Elsa runs upstairs, then runs out of road, as the 2 guards attempt to end her forever. Oh man, she has to dodge crossbows? Oh man, she better have good reflexes. One shoots, and oh wow, come on. I forgot, Disney does not like blood. And oh man, oh god, oh. Just as I suspected, every icicle misses a vital organ by just that much. 1 in a million. Sadly enough, though, she does get captured and gets sent back to Arendelle. Well, thankfully in one piece, no scratches or bruises or anything. Oh, and I was wrong, Hans actually gets back there first, as Kristoff and Anna slowly speed back. Oh, right. Nice job, Kristoff. That would definitely help when she's freezing from the inside out.
Make sure she's safe.
Can I have my hat back? It's not gonna work anyway. So Anna and Hans finally meet back up at the castle, as Hans has one more chance to save Anna. And...
If only there was someone out there who loved you.
Ooh, another burn. So he monologues for a little bit, explains the whole story, and then locks her up in a room that can somehow lock from the outside. Only in Disney, man. Only in Disney. So right before her death sentence, Elsa breaks free from her shackles and disappears into the snow once again. And of all people, Olaf actually comes to Anna's rescue. The first time I saw this, I'm like, okay, nothing wrong here. But then I was like, oh my god, could Olaf actually be a pervert? Like, sneak into random people's houses and open the door? Anyway, he somehow manages to get her out, and returns her back into the cold, as all 4 characters reunite in one intense blizzard. So Hans tells Elsa the same lie he told those Wesselton guys, as Anna tries to find Kristoff for one last kiss. Oh my god, look at Anna's hands. Forget frostbite, I'm surprised they haven't fallen off yet. Oh man, Hans is gonna do it. Oh my god, this could get graphic. This could actually be the first ever beheading scene in a Disney movie. Now, I know Disney won't actually do it, but do you see an error here? If you're going to kill someone, always do it from the side so you can get a good shot at their neck. Well, don't get me wrong, but from this angle, Hans can do serious damage to her back, but that certainly won't kill her right away. So Han lunges the sword at Elsa, and of course Anna gets in the way, turns to solid ice, and oh no, Disney, not again. This is the 3rd time, here we go. Now we're looking toward the Mohs scale of hardness. This is mineral physics right now we're looking at. Forget about the sonic boom that propelled Hans back about 5 feet. And take a look at this scene where Hans lunges a sword right at Anna's right hand. And the sword goes right between her fingers and shatters on impact. Now, the Mohs hardness scale puts ice at around a 1 or a 1.2 for hardened ice. And that's only if it's extremely cold. If that sword was iron, that would come in at around a 4.5. And if that was solid steel, it would come in at around a little over a 7. Yeah, only if she turned to solid diamond, which comes in at around a 9 on the Mohs hardness scale, would the sword even bounce back. Forget that the sword actually broke into about 20 pieces, but just to bounce back. And look, the first scene of the movie shows people driving metal into ice, and the ice clearly cracks. There's no problem with physics here, so what's the problem here? Why can't this sword go through? Believe it or not, at some temperature, metal can actually shatter. But that is an extremely, extremely cold temperature. Well below sub-freezing. 77 degrees above absolute zero. There is no way anyone can even survive at that temperature for a couple seconds. So that is completely unrealistic. It would definitely penetrate the ice. But it wouldn't stop there. Ready for this graphic stuff? It would go right through her hand, cut right through the scaphoid bone, if at the correct angle, of course. Go in between the radius and the ulna, that's the two bones in the upper arm, then stop right before it hits the humerus. If it goes past the humerus, I'd be very shocked, but still, that would be very, very, very graphic to watch. Now, Disney could have actually evaded this problem and have the scene play out the exact same way. The only difference is that Anna, instead of going for the sword, goes for Han's hand. This way, Hans can drop the sword, and we wouldn't have to worry about any of this metal-shattering BS. But Disney, thank God, saves our hearts and our eyes, as Elsa saves the world with just a little bit of love. So Elsa finally masters her ice powers, saves Arendelle, as we have one more little piece of unfinished business. So instead of imprisoning Hans for treason, or have Elsa freeze him to death, just have Anna have the last word. Or punch.
The only frozen heart around here is yours.
Oh my god. Hans must be so weak and disoriented to just defy gravity and fly over the boat deck right into the water. And, oh good, Disney fixes their mistake a third time. Thank God. Actually, Hans does get imprisoned and gets sent back to his own kingdom. Whoop, and more good news. Olaf doesn't die because of the heat. Anna gets Kristoff and Sven a new sled. And for leisure, Elsa turns the palace grounds into a personal ice skating rink.
I like the open gates.
We are never closing them again.
Oh, and that, Elsa turning Anna's boots into ice skates reminded me of something. Elsa not only has the power to change weather and people's health condition, but she also has the power to change pretty much matter itself. It's funny, she's too occupied with throwing parties, playing with her sister, and eating chocolate that she has no idea of how much her powers mean to the world. She could be doing things like ending world hunger, or solving the environmental energy crisis, or even altering global climate change. There is billions of today's dollars being lost every year thanks to things like extreme weather conditions such as floods, storms, fires, or droughts. They would be hailing her as a god for doing things like that. And as the credits roll and I end this review, I just want to remind you all about the mark this movie's making on the world. It didn't make it big, it made it huge. Soon to take the top spot above Toy Story 3 as the highest grossing animated film of all time, and climbing to the top 10 of the highest grossing, adjusted for inflation of course, movies of all time. This movie is chock full of errors from bad parenting skills to ice from nowhere, oddball and potentially racist characters, and above all, supreme misuse of physics. Not the animation's physics, but real-life physics. From people who don't freeze, ice that never breaks, insane falls that go unscathed, and metal that was never supposed to shatter. From a physics perspective, it's about as hilarious as the acting from The Last Airbender.
I see.
It wasn't very smart. I was just upset. Thanks for saving me.
Lucky.
I probably should get home. I'll be worried.
You're not still upset?
Not as much as I was.
They also almost never mention any cold weather terminology. The word hypothermia is not mentioned once in the entire film. Frostbite, however, is actually mentioned in the film, but only when Kristoff sings to Sven in that little barn.
Don't let the frost bite.
Now, there are a lot of other points in this movie where they actually could have used frostbite as a way of teaching the uneducated youth, but they chose not to. I mean, like, this movie's amazingly, shockingly bad. Its music and colorful images hide the fact that between the beauty and innocence, it presents a much more prevalent darkened mood and somewhat conservative message, saying that we can't adapt to change and just accept the way things are. I am honestly surprised that all these hidden messages seem to be blowing past a lot of people, and only a handful of critics take this movie with a grain of salt. Looking at everything through a child's perspective, this movie's an absolute masterpiece, but looking at it in any other light, it's an absolute mess. I mean, this movie truly sucks ass, and I dare anybody who tries to prove me otherwise. Because this is the first time I've ever reviewed a movie, I'm going to add a rating system at the end of each video based on a number of different categories. There are also a number of extras that are below if the movie fits a certain category. I'm going to give this movie one hell of a bad rating, as it clearly does not deserve the recognition it's getting, from critics and fans alike. So if you have any comments, and I'm sure you do, please feel free to lash out your best at either myself or the movie in a dignified manner. I don't want to see comments that say, "You suck," or "F you." Please use appropriate sentences. So thanks for watching this incredibly long video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Ta-ta for now.